Hi, thanks so much for joining in. This is a special broadcast to you from NDTV Profit. It's called Spot the Scam. Let me lay the context for you. Over the last decade, and particularly after the COVID-19 pandemic, you've had millions of investors in India come to the fore, invest in the capital markets and build wealth. Now, there are forces in the stock markets that everybody is familiar with. Greed and fear. These are what determine prices. But they are also what a lot of scamsters prey on. They promise you amazing returns on products that you might not have heard of, that you're not familiar with, and a lot of times you have investors that fall victim to these scamsters. One such nationwide scam came to light because of efforts by NDTV Profit's very own Charu, and we're bringing her on to tell you about some of them, but this has to do with Dabba trading. If you've not heard about it, we'll tell you what it means, but this is an unregulated space, it is illegal, and a lot of people have lost money. Are you one of those people? If so, you can get in touch with us on the numbers that will soon flash on your screen, and you can ask us questions. We are going to have experts explain what recourse you might have, if at all. In fact, let's go across to Charu first to talk about what this is about and why even the Securities and Exchange Board of India has taken cognizance of what we have reported. Charu?
So the market regulator, Securities and Exchange Board of India, came out with a very interesting press release yesterday listing its actions against the Dabba trading firm that gave a newspaper ad in a Hindi daily. So listing its directions, we have come to know that SEBI has registered a police complaint, a cyber police complaint with the cyber police. Apart from that, they have also sent a notice to the Hindi daily called Navbharat against the ad that they have run on their front page. And the advertisement authority of the country has also taken the cognizance of the entire issue. Now, coming on the modus operandi or how this was, going ahead, we have come to know that investors were duped of large amounts of money. They were given promises of exaggerated returns and no brokerage fees. However, whenever they booked profits, their accounts were banned or they were only allowed to withdraw partial amounts from them. Now, this is something that was running from Nagpur, Delhi, and eventually even had some links to UAE. And we must understand that this was running as a very formal setup, even though it was completely illegal in its very nature, because people were employed by the entity, over 20 or more people, on the pretext of, giving them a formal job. However, that was not the case. We also have a conversation with this person who was running the operation, who called himself Raghav, and we can, help our viewers listen to that conversation right here.
और आपको तो जन्म भी नहीं होता तब से डब्बा ट्रेडिंग का काम हो रहा है। अभी तो ये NSE, BSE, आप देख पहले क्या होता था, पेपर पे लिखा जाता था, आधा पत्ते पे चढ़ता था, आधा नहीं चढ़ता था। धंधा थोड़ी ना बंद हो गया, धंधा तो पहले से ही चल रहा है।
सही बात है।
एप्लीकेशन का काम ये जो चल रहा है, ये 15-16 साल से चल रहा है। मैं और आप तो डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते ना किसी के बोलने से। मेटा 5 एप्लीकेशन है, पूरे इंडिया में चल रही है मैडम, इंडिया के पूरे वर्ल्ड में चल रही है।
सही बात है राघव जी।
हाँ,
कहाँ से हैं आप?
कौन से मीडिया में डालना है ये तो बताइए।
NDTV। कहाँ से हैं आप?
हम तो हिंदुस्तान से ही है, बेस्ड ऑफ दिल्ली है।
दिल्ली से?
हाँ जी मैडम।
दिल्ली में कहाँ से?
दिल्ली में रहते हैं मैडम हम। वो देखा आपने शादरा?
राघव जी, आपको डर बिल्कुल नहीं लग रहा कि ऐसे न्यूज़ चली जाएगी, लिख जाएगा, छप जाएगा, ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है?
मैडम एक बात का खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं? This is the statement of somebody who is absolutely unafraid. Exactly what Charu is asking. But Charu, a lot of people are unfamiliar with what Dabba trading is. Why is it illegal? And why is it something like a market that is running parallel to the official market, which is of course run by the stock exchanges? Can you explain this?
Yeah, so Dabba trading, first of all, is a completely illegal mechanism of conducting trades, and it is completely unregulated also. So what happens is that same transfer of securities that happens in the regulated market is also happening here, but it is not taking place on any recognized stock exchanges, which means that Dabba trading operator, a person who is running the scheme, is going to settle your trades on their own platform. This platform is not registered, this platform is not legal or even, something legible. It is just something that they have made up and lured investors on the basis of exaggerated claims. Now, we must also understand that if the investors are duped of any amount of money, they cannot go ahead and complain about it. None of their grievances will be heard by the regulators. So getting the money back or making a complaint about it is also something that becomes very difficult. Now, also coming on to how in current times these things are being conducted. Firstly, you also get SMSs about it. Then you get stock tips on Telegram channels. The Telegram channels are also something where they sort of, get more people to gather and get lured into their schemes. Then there are WhatsApp demo calls conducted where people are, talked into their schemes. And some explainers and stock tips are also given through YouTube explainers. And some of these entities also have their own Play Store apps which you can download and operate on. So that's how it is being conducted.